Murder charges against a high-profile military officer have sent shockwaves.
It was stunning news. The commander of Canada's largest Air Force base, a standout officer, pilot to a prime minister and a queen. A rapist and killer, 2 murders, 2 sex assaults. And he'd actually videotaped himself raping and killing. The name Colonel Russell Williams ricocheted across the nation. A wave of disbelief followed.
I just cannot connect Colonel Williams with Russell Williams, the deviant.
After all, this was the man who supervised Canada's supply missions to Afghanistan and the nation's disaster relief flights to Haiti after its earthquake. His friend Jeff Farquhar heard the news and threw up.
Could it be? Can't be. Could it be? Possible? Russ, murder, or what? And it just didn't make any sense at all.
But it was true. The friend he thought he knew had carefully, obsessively, recorded his depraved double life on thousands of photographs. Here he was, a highly regarded officer by day, a lingerie thief, and worse, far worse, by night.
You look at this individual and say, how could he lead this double life? But again,
Craig Ackley, former FBI agent.
Russell Williams is somebody who everything he did was compartmentalized, was categorized, not just in his behavior, but in his thoughts.
Williams' double life began in September 2007, the lingerie raids, the first one here in idyllic Cozy Cove Lane in Tweed. Larry Jones' home turf. And soon, Larry Jones' daughter's home nearby was broken into. She surprised the intruder. He ran. Not far. Because Russell Williams' second home was right there on Cozy Cove, too, right next door to Larry Jones.
Russ!
Once Williams was arrested, police called Larry's daughter, gave her the news. The whole family was astounded.
No clue that could be him. That's how we trusted this guy next door.
Typically, Williams told police, he would break in through an unlocked door or window. He'd head to the bedrooms, try on female underwear, photograph himself wearing it. He'd steal keepsakes, which he'd photograph later at home in meticulously ordered displays.
In essence, Russell Williams was creating his own pornography collection in which he was the star.
That collection was buried in Williams' computer in a complex file folder system, the lurid photos, time and date stamped, every offense logged, every location noted. It was all there, to be relived again and again.
As he's doing this, the fantasies become stronger and stronger, and the acting out has to escalate.
He'd worked the area near his Tweed home for 8 months with impunity. Virtually all his break-ins had gone undetected. Then Williams turned to his other neighborhood, here in Orleans, where he lived with his hard-working wife. In the spring of 2008, he committed the first of 24 break-ins here. And again, some homeowners never knew they'd been burgled. But remember Brenda Constantine and Brian Rogers? They knew. Williams broke into their house in January 2009, left his semen in their daughter's bedroom.
This is now into an arena of showing you, I've been in your home. I can come in here anytime that I want.
It's just completely shocking and horrible, and you don't even want to think about it.
Then came July 2009. Colonel Russell Williams took over the top job at Canada's biggest Air Force base, in charge of some 3,000 people, cleared by all manner of security checks. By then, he'd broken into more than 40 different homes in Orleans and Tweed, some multiple times. Occasionally, he'd enter a home stark naked. Here's Williams later that summer, presiding over one of the many ceremonies now part of his duties as the face of the base.
So I understand that there are challenges. I congratulate the members of the squadron for the...
As he spoke, his secret behaviors were about to escalate to rape and murder. In September, Williams flew a supply mission to a remote Canadian Forces base in the Arctic with a local official. He returned to his Tweed home on September 16. That night, he committed his first sexual assault.
Very impressive.
The next day, he presided over a publicity stunt. A strongman hauling a huge plane across the tarmac, attempting to break a Guinness World Record.
The Belleville Bulls have decided to dedicate the upcoming season to the men and women of 8 Wing Trenton.
Days later, he cheerfully fielded reporters' questions at a local hockey arena.
Yes, I think I'll have the opportunity to drop the puck at the beginning.
A week later, the second sexual assault, a neighbor 3 doors down. On October 29th, the same day police hauled Larry Jones away for questioning about those sex assaults, Williams was photographed at a book signing at the base. And 2 weeks after that, he broke into Ann Marson Cook's farmhouse, left that taunting message on the computer, urging her to call the cops.
I would imagine for Russell Williams, it was an ultimate feeling of power, probably quite exhilarating for him.
I think that night I was a target.
And his crimes escalated.
And he went from her house, next was the murder.
1 week later, the murder of Corporal Marie France Como. She was Williams' subordinate. He had access to her personnel file, her address, her schedule. The day Marie France Como's body was discovered, Williams was taking part in a light-hearted United Way fundraiser called Jail and Bail, charged with being too young to be a wing commander at 46. He took part in a mock arrest.
He's smiling, he's laughing, he's completely at ease. He didn't feel anxious over what he did.
As base commander, Williams sent sincere condolences to Como's grieving family. And then he welcomed Santa to the base. January 2010, disaster relief operation sending aid to Haiti after its earthquake. Williams oversaw the effort, hosted Canada's defense minister on a tour of the Haitian-bound supplies, won praise for his handling of the whole thing. And days later, broke into Jessica Lloyd's house, took her back to his place in Tweed. That's where he murdered her after hours of torture, and then left for work, left her body in his garage. While her body was lying in his garage, he drives to the Air Force base, gets into an airplane, and flies her to California. I mean, how is that even possible?
There's a complete lack of anxiety in that sense, because once that tension is reduced from acting out, he's fine.
So, what was to be done with such a man? Canadians would find out soon enough.